following is a presentation of the Pontywood Sports Network.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center. So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Well, Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank. Boom, chick. Boom, chick. Boom, chick. Boom, chick, boom.
We can move it underground, bro. We can toss it all around, Joe.
Convert another first down and goal.
We're gonna take it all the way.
Chick, boom, chick, boom, chick.
We can start turning up the sound, yo. Another Tuesday round, slow. Are you ready for the Nick Brown Show?
I'm ready for the Nick Brown Show.
I'm ready for the Nick Brown Show.
Can you dig it?
Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick. Welcome everybody to the pizzeria. You just heard the boom chick, and it's a big deal in the 5 and under crowd.
It is. My kids all love it.
Yeah. So, welcome to the big show. It's been a while since we've been with you. We had a week off, and then Nick could make it last week, but neither Steven or I could. So it's been a while. So you can catch up and you can get your fix of the Nick Brown Show here at the pizzeria. The only bad thing is we wish you were here with us. Pizzeria is a whole lot better when you can taste it rather than just hear us talk about it. We don't have a pizza of the night. We have the usual meat lovers thing, but we got cookies. Did you know they have cookies?
I did not know they had cookies.
Yeah. That's a traditional chocolate chip. That right there is a white chocolate macadamia nut.
Yeah, I'm laying claim to that one.
Okay, well that's my
And why
favorite.
is it
Or
that
no,
white?
you want
No, I
It's
don't.
a
I
Nick
don't.
Brown
That's
show.
okay.
You
No,
get
that's
you
okay.
get your
No,
cheese.
no, it's okay.
And this is chocolate chip with M&M's.
I'll take that one.
Okay. Why is it that macadamia nuts never go with regular chocolate? It's only white chocolate. Who made that rule?
Not Mr. Hershey.
No.
I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, come try it out for yourself.
But we still have the old standby, the meat lovers.
Yeah.
We went no jalapenos, no stuffed crust.
Classic.
Just
Tried
a
and true.
regular old
Right.
thing.
So that's our first show of the regular season. I thought we would get it back to basics. And hi, Coach Brown.
Hello.
You've been busy since we talked last.
I've been busy. Yes, sir.
We are into the district schedule, and we have the state champs in our rearview mirror. We'll talk briefly about them in a moment, but looking forward to seeing, where you think the team stands at this point in the season and what it looks like as we move forward. And so that's what we're going to do when we come back. Coach Talk is what's going to happen. It's brought to you whether it's at the stadium or here or at the gym or on the baseball diamond. All season brought to you by JBA Financial. John Black and his crew, excellent. We'll hear from them and some others. We'll be right back with the Nick Brown Show. JBA Financial Services brings you Coach Talk, and there's a reason for that. John Black knows that when you're preparing for an important game, you need a plan, and they'd like to be a part of the details, the X's and O's of that plan. He's put together a good team, a coaching staff that would help you and your family get where they want to go. At JBA Financial Services, they're working to secure your family's future. Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Okay, let's talk a little football. First, we look in the rearview mirror. I'm just going to keep it open. Your thoughts on Carthage, any part of that, the team itself, the game itself, They are an unusual beast.
They're real good. Now, it was. I mean, and I think we talked about that before going in. We've talked about them before, but obviously they're the number 1 team in the state, and that's and I meant what I said, and I still mean it to this day. And our kids, we talked about that on Monday when we did our scouting report for Bullard. Like, you want to play those teams. You want to play the best teams because, especially as you're growing and building a program with a team as young as we are,
Yes.
You want to play those best teams because then you can have a measure to see, okay, if we ever want to become a great team or move into an elite program, like, that's the level we have to play at. Those are the teams we're going to have to play. If you want to make deep runs in the playoffs, you're going to run into Carthage. I told them at the beginning of the season, I still stand by it. If our goal every year is we want to play Carthage twice. If we're in their district, we want to play them twice. So play them once in district and once for a regional final.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if you want to be an elite program, you have to play elite teams. Now, sometimes it goes well and you compete well and it's a close game, and sometimes what happened Friday night happens, and you lose control very quickly. And if you don't play sound football, you don't play, and it was just a combination of things that if you're not on your game, they're going to exploit you, and that's what good teams do.
I think Carthage may very well be picked to win.
They are.
By any team in the larger division. I mean, they're that good.
I subscribe to the Harris Power Rankings, and they're equivalent in the 5A schools at the top. And then at one point, I don't know if they are this year. I didn't look, but at one point they would have been the number 24 team in 6A.
Yeah,
according to the
Harris.
Harris.
They've been a top 30 team.
Yeah,
and
I read that today. It came out today. I read that.
Yep.
it's just it's crazy. And there's no way you'll ever get this, but what the average age is of their starters and the average age of ours, we have a pretty young team.
Very young team. I mean, our starting free safety turned 16 today.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's not an excuse. I'm not making excuses. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to go in and play.
It is a factor.
It is a factor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've coached against I've coached against Brock, who played them last year in the semifinals. I've coached against Salina my whole career before coming here, and I'm telling you right now, that is hands down the best football team I've ever been on the field with. Coach Surratt does an incredible job over there, and we got a chance to talk before the game, and I asked him if he could, hey, why don't you send some of your 2s and 3s down here? But he didn't think that was too funny. Whatever. But it's one of those things where like he's built that thing because when he got there, Carthage wasn't very good. They had a tradition of being pretty good, but not to
like
that
this.
level. And so that's what I told our coaches going into the game was like, hey, if you can be mad at Carthage, hate Carthage, make excuses for why Carthage is so good, and you can do all those things. At the end of the day, everyone at this level, especially in this area, that's the team. Like if you're building a program and you want to be elite, that's the one you look to. Say, okay, we want to be on that level.
Absolutely.
And so, instead of hating on it and making excuses for why we can't be that way, why not us?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what we
can't
talked
beat
about
them,
as a
join them.
program.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know there's 2 things about it, right? I mean, number one, I want you to talk about this because success perpetuates itself because. I mean, those guys, you're talking about age, they play over their career, they play an extra season worth of games.
And that's something that was
and
huge.
Practice.
And so that is something huge, especially for your younger groups. Because once you make playoffs, you either you bring up your whole sub-varsity, you bring up a handful of those maybe sophomores and those your kind of more developed freshmen, and they're going to get another. So those guys, if you play the full season like they've done, the last 4 or 5 years in a row, they've at least played in the 5th round. You're getting an extra month and a half of practice, and you play into the state championship game. That's another 7 weeks of practice that your team gets, your program gets, and so it's one of those things where like at Aubrey we went into at least the 3rd round every year. That was 10 extra games we got to play over 4 years. So our guys got an entire extra season, like you were saying, to prep and be ready. And I think that's a big reason why. I talked to our guys on Monday. I said, look, losing 4 games in a row, there's no other way to put it. It sucks. Like I can't explain it to you. They kids have been working hard, all the things, been doing what we asked them to do, showing up, not missing everything we've asked them to do. And I can't explain it. I said, it sucks. I said, at the end of the day, it falls on me. I always subscribe to the fact that if you win games, you got really good players. If you lose games, it's because you got terrible coaches. So, it's at those things where I have to own it. And, I said, but I've also been on teams where we started the year 0-4, lost every non-district game, and then went and won eight games straight and played into the 3rd round of the playoffs. So once it starts clicking, then you start rolling. And I think
that's
you know,
happened here too. There have been
I mean,
several seasons where the momentum starts about now.
And I will say our kids have responded very well. I mean, it's very simple. It's very easy, especially for a teenage kid with social media, and everyone's got their opinion, and people in the stands, and everyone has their opinion on what we should be doing or how we should be doing it, or hey, y'all need to do this, or that guy doesn't know. All that block out the noise. Our kids have been very resilient. They've never stopped showing up. They've never stopped giving effort. They've never given up. They fight. They keep doing what they're asked to do. They keep showing up. They keep getting better, and we've gotten better every week. And so that's one thing that's been very positive that I really love about our group of kids that we have, our team, our coaches. Like, everyone is bought in. Everyone is on the same page. Everyone understands, hey, that one's in the rear view. And the biggest thing is we're healthy, and we're ready to make a run and see what happens.
And go ahead, Mr. Charles.
I was just saying, you only want Carthage to beat you once. Like Penn State, Oregon has beaten Penn State 3 times in a row now because they can't get it out of their head, and it cost them their coach.
Yeah,
so you put that in the rearview mirror, and now it's on to Bullard and focus on that.
Well, and I will say, like, practice the last 2 days has stepped up to us, because I'm telling you, the bye week and the week lead up to Carthage were probably the best 2 weeks of practice we had. Our kids were fired up.
Wow.
Nobody was scared. Nobody was, oh my God, we got to play Carthage. Everybody was like, man, I want to give, because I told them, I said, if you know, that's a game where you want to give your max effort, because then you have a better measure of what you're going to see and what you're really capable of when you're playing against the best teams. And so I think a big part of this season is you know, our kids have become a lot more mentally tough. Not because that's been intentional on my part, because if you're either going to do two things in a season where everything's not going your way, you're either going to make excuses and give up and just, oh, well, the season's a wash, or you're going to, you know, man up and buck up and pull your bootstraps up and get back to work and focus on the next opponent. I think our kids have done an incredible job with that.
And that's my next question is, how is the team better now or different now than it was in late August? So mental toughness.
Mental toughness, definitely. Resiliency, you know, fighting through adversity. I think the Madisonville showed us, like, we can be in a close game and fight through some bad situations, and you know, it didn't go our way at the end there, but I mean, that was one of the better games we've played, put things together. I know I have to remind myself, like, hey, we got a kid who's playing quarterback for the first time since like 7th grade. We've got kids who have never been on varsity before. We've got kids playing new positions on the offensive line. We got, you know, all this stuff, and those aren't to make excuses, but we're seeing growth in all of those areas, which is a huge piece of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to build. Like I told somebody the other day, like, I didn't come here to you know, just win games. I came here to build something that's going to last. And so I think that's a big piece of that, is that the mental aspect of what it, you know, to be a part of a program.
And it's counterintuitive when you're building something that's going to last. Part of that, almost always, is not winning.
Yeah, and a lot of it is you're going to have to go through some tough times, because you're really, it's just like in life. Like, you learn what you're made of when you go through tough times. And, you know, is that something that I like? No. You know, absolutely not.
Right.
Is that, you know, something that I like for my family and kids to have to hear in the stands? No. But that they know that's part of the coach's life. That happens. And so that's just, you know, something that we've worked on and focused on with our kids, is like, hey, there's going to be outside noise. You know what I mean? It's kind of like being on TV or being a teacher or being on the whatever. There's always somebody that thinks they can do what you do better. And there probably is. But my deal is, I'm loving what I'm doing. I love these kids. I mean, there's probably 15 of them sitting over there right now giving me crap right now, texting me.
I wish we could turn the camera around.
And, you know, it's just they're amazing. They're resilient. They don't let things bug them. They just, hey, let's show them and get back to work. They shake it off and come back to work.
What about X's and O's wise? Is there something either side of the ball that you're particularly proud of that we might not be able to see that is better now than it was when August was here?
I feel like, obviously, you know, defensively, learning a new scheme, and you know, we found out some things over those first few games, especially, you know, after the first 2 games, we thought, oh wait, we're good, we're rocking and rolling. Well, then we get into playing a little bit tougher opponents, and I'm really proud of the way our kids responded. We completely didn't change the way that we run our defense. We just kind of changed the way that we run our fronts, because we realized, like, we have a lot more D lineman type guys, so going to an even front with 4 down linemen is going to benefit us better than staying in an odd front with 3 down linemen. And so we made that switch, and our kids adjusted to it, learned to it, and have been doing really well in it.
Sweet.
And we're still able to go back and forth, but they've gotten to a place and found a place where they're comfortable. You know, on the offensive side, I think every game we've had a different group of 5 in a different spot, just trying to find that sweet spot where, you know, we know this is going to be the best group of 5 going forward, playing those positions. And, you know, this week kind of took a step back. I think I've got 4 offensive linemen out with strep. And
What?
oh yeah, it's going around. And so
man.
they should be back to practice tomorrow. But that also, again, I'm the eternal positive guy. It's got to give a chance for some of our backups and some of our younger guys to get a chance to get a lot more, team reps.
But
Right.
just on that line though, that's where it's
Yeah.
hit is the lineman. Oh,
Yeah, we hang out a lot, and watch a lot of film together.
Yeah.
And so it's just one of those things. But
don't
like I said,
share a mouthpiece.
don't. I don't know what they're doing, but don't do it anymore. But they should be back Wednesday. But yeah, I think defensively, I've been real proud of the way our guys have adjusted and adapted offensively. And there were some things that I sat down with the coaching staff after like week 3, and I said, okay, what did you guys do that they had success with in the past? Because you did a lot of good things here. And I'm not too proud to use other people's stuff if that's what they had success with. So we were able to put some things in. And even it was as simple as calling it. We may do the same thing, but I was calling it something different, so it was confusing the kids. And so, I don't care. We'll call it whatever you want to call it as long as I know what they're doing. It's fine. So they've just been very resilient. They're able to bounce
Very
back.
good.
And so those things have definitely gotten better over
That's
the course of the
excellent.
last couple of weeks.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is game analysis. It's brought to you at halftime and on Tuesdays by Camp Uwani Youth Camp. If you're from Shelby County, it's right in the middle of Shelby County between Center and Timpson. We'll hear from them and from Pizzeria and from some of our tennis sponsors, because we had our tennis by district meet also in the rearview mirror. We want to hear from some of them too. We'll be right back here at the Pizzeria. It's brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Cornerstone Balance and Therapy is the local place where you go to recover after surgery or after an accident. With up-to-date modern equipment and a staff that cares and knows you by name, the only thing better is where it's located, right at the 4-way stop in the middle of town. Cornerstone, helping you get better. So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the Pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center. For most Center Rough Rider fans, Center, Texas is home. You think of home, it brings thoughts of places that have been there your whole life. One of those places is Bounds Insurance. Bounds is here in the present, yesterday, and will be tomorrow. Bounds Insurance for a lifetime. When you think Center Motor Company, Billy Don, what do you think?
Trucks, and more trucks.
They have pre-owned vehicles.
Yep, and a lot of them's are trucks from all brands, makes, and models. But the Ford trucks, man, they got a fleet of them.
Yes, they do.
Come on down to the Center Hurst.
And go.
Center Motor Company, we just heard from them. They have some Center Motor Company folks that just passed by, and I went and said hello to them. Living in a small town is fun. They bring you our player talk when we talk with players and when we talk about players, and that's where we come to tonight. We've had a couple of games for Riders of the Night, and it's probably easier for you to remember the Carthage one since it's more fresh in your memory. But if you can remember the Madisonville and the Carthage game, who would your Riders of the Night be?
So definitely for Carthage, I think our rider of the night would be senior Cody Atkinson. Yeah. He lived up to the hype during that game, and he delivered several times he made a tackle, and he's heard the whole stadium go, oh, and he played lights out. And, that's one thing I hate for those guys like him and for Grant and, some of those Jamie, some of those seniors, that's the last time they get a chance to take a crack at Carthage. And so, but he definitely, took full advantage and played his position very well. I think for the Madisonville game, I think it would be Caden Cooks. We call him Flaps.
Flaps.
And Flaps. He had the defensive touchdown,
Yeah.
and just played an incredible game, kick return wise, and defensively, offensively. Had a big night on both sides of the ball.
The Madisonville game, everybody that was there was upset about that. Not we weren't upset at Madisonville, just upset at the way it turned out. You made the comment that they did everything you asked of them, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing I think as a coach is to ask something of your kids, and they do it. They rise to the occasion. They ramp it up in practice. They ramp it up in the weight room. They ramp it up in their film numbers, how much the time they spend watching film. They lock in, they focus, they have 3 straight great days of practice, and then you show up on a Friday night and it just doesn't go your way. And like I said, there's 2 ways I can go after that, especially with a teenage kid. It can be, hey, we tried it that way and did everything right and still lost, so what's the point? Or it can be, hey, we played a really good football team and played a really good football game, and we learned a lot from that game. We learned that against good teams, you can't make even the littlest mistakes. You have to be able to bounce back, and they took it that way and have continued to improve practice-wise and continue to better themselves and their craft and their skill and their knowledge of the game and what we're doing. So they responded really well from it. And that's the hardest part about coaching is you demand those things of kids, and you try and get the best out of them. They give you their best, and you still fall short. And so that was a hard conversation that Monday. Guys, I can't explain it. I don't know.
I feel like we dominated that game. I feel like physically we dominated it. I feel we played. It seems like we played the majority of the game down on their side of the field in the red zone. But it's one of the adages, right, is that when you dominate, you've got to cash it in. You got to put points on the board. When you don't do that, it will come back and bite you in the rear, and I think that's what happened.
And that was one of our goals for that game was finish drives. When you get inside a team's 5-yard line 3 or 4 times, you've got to come away with points. And I think one of those, the first time, I'm calling for field goal, and every kid on the field is giving me that let's go, we got them, and it didn't work out. And the next time we get down there, I think we fumbled a snap, ended up throwing a pick or something. And so, little things like that is just frustrating because they did. We just absolutely destroyed them up front. We had a great game offensively. Defense played the lights out. But then you have a big turnover where you throw a pick six, and then you have a fumble when we're driving on the ball, or you have a penalty that knocks you from second and short to second and long. And so all those little things add up, and in a close game against a good opponent, those things come back and bite you.
But I'm going to go out on a limb. You've had 2 back-to-back really difficult weeks. The game that you should have won and didn't. The game that you're probably not going to win, and it was handed to you, with a week off in between. I would think that would be pretty difficult circumstances. Yet you're saying practice this week has been as good as practice last week, they're resilient.
Yeah, that's just a testament to the kids.
Well,
they're bought into what we're doing.
Yeah, and I believe that, and hats off to kids, but that's also a testament of good coaching. That part of that coaching is convincing kids that it's okay.
Yeah.
That's not indicative of your quality as a human employee.
Yeah.
You guys did go good with that.
That's one of those things I told the kids, and because they were kind of down, and they it's hard when you're again a 16-year-old kid and your whole life is on social media and you see those things, and they came to me with those like, Coach, hey, how do we? I said, don't just block out the noise, and I told them, here's the deal. I said the only part of our program that is on display for the public to see is for about 3 hours one night a week. They don't see that you guys are up here at 6:30 in the morning for weights. They don't see that you're up here at 7 a.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays for film. They don't see the time during the day. We spend 30 minutes every day on film in the afternoon. They don't see the hours that you spend at practice. They don't see the hours that you're watching film at home. They don't see the work you put in. They don't see that our team GPA is up. They don't see that we haven't had any academic casualties in our grading reports.
Wait, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nobody is having to sit for grades.
No, sir.
Okay.
They don't see that the discipline program wide has significantly improved. Those are the things they don't see that are big parts of the program and what we want to build. They just get to see you putting that on display, for about 3 hours every week. And so I think, the biggest obstacle that I've seen since my time coming in is they, and it's all kids. It's not just here. It's every kid you work with. It's the mental part of it. It's the focus part of it. It's the not allowing, outside voices. And I told myself, it'll be your uncle, your dad, a buddy, somebody you don't even know, who will give you. It'll happen your whole life. You know what I mean? Being a lawyer, how many people tell you, how to do your job? Or,
I suspended my Facebook account when I was DA because I got tired of people telling me how I should do things different. Yeah.
And that's the whole part of this social media generation is everyone feels like they have an opinion, and everyone feels like everyone wants to hear their opinion.
Yep.
So it's used to be they just gossip behind your back, but now they put it on social media. So
Coach Saban calls that rat poison.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Because it can get in there, and once that seed gets in the kid's head, then it spreads, and it's hard to overcome that. But I will say, again, our kids are bought into what we're doing. They believe in what we're doing. They know that I believe in them, and they know that I love them, that I'm here for them. And then all I want to do is see them succeed. And I hate the way the year's gone so far, but it's not over yet.
Nope.
And so we got eyes forward, looking forward, and not focusing on the past.
And that's what we're going to do with the rest of the show. We'll talk about what's going on with the rest of the program and what's going on as we prepare for Bullard on Friday night. Before we go, we had in our broadcast booth, we had Keaton Watlington, my eldest, who did a fine job for 4 quarters as our play-by-play guy. He's been a part of our broadcast team since he was 8th grader.
He was
fun.
stat man.
Yeah.
He's always going to be stat man.
I like it. It's like the scat man.
And he used to give stats, like this. Now it's
well, we would do the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Stat man.
Yeah, it was great.
I didn't know he was coming, or we'd have had that queued up.
Sure.
But he was in relief of Rob Payne, the voice of the Rough Riders, who had a very well-deserved break with his family. He'll be back for this one, Bullard game, and that means, you find him during the day at Borders Poultry Supply. They bring us our up close and personal segment at halftime. They are our sponsors of the night. So, Rob and your extended family, thank you. I think you've been this sponsor for the whole century, of the whole 21st century so far. Let's hear from them. We'll be right back with the Nick Brown Show, brought to you by Sabine State Bank.
When you need supplies for your poultry farm, remember Borders Poultry Supply on Highway 87 South here in Center. The folks at Borders Poultry are ready to help you with parts for your brooders, chore time and rock cell feeders, and new drinker systems. Do you need a new incinerator? Are you ready for a new litter barn or compost shed? Do you need some updates on your poultry farm? Call 598-6297. Borders Poultry Supply, builders of quality poultry houses.
You know that Center Glass can fix your cracked windshield. But for the experts at Center Glass, fixing a windshield is just the beginning. Center Glass can also renovate your bathroom, turn your fixtures and shower into something entirely new and unique to your home.
We say thank you to these fall sponsors who bring you Rough Rider football all fall long. Chris Mayfield State Farm, Shelby County's good neighbor. Down Home Storage. Take your down home clutter to Down Home Storage. At Joe's, it's not just a car wash, it's a car spa. McAdams Propane, keeping you warm in the winter and your outdoor kitchen going all season long. And Watson & Sons Funeral Home, their family serving yours. So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Well, Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank. Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate the Forge, Danbert column, which is to, I guess, your left as you look at the screen, not very far down the road where the folks go to get stronger, just like the Rough Riders doing, where some of the Rough Riders, maybe not the football Rough Riders, but some of the off-season other sports go during the summer to stay strong as they get ready for the next year. Danbert Collum, old Rough Rider himself, at the Forge. And also Rough Rider Oil and Lube, right there on the highway. Take care of your engine. Don't don't drive by and keep putting it off. Make sure you take care of it. And it's a perfect place, perfect name, Rough Rider Oil and Lube.
I was in and out of there in like 6 minutes.
Yeah, they're pretty good, aren't
They
they?
are efficient.
Yeah, they are pretty good. So the other sports in the fall, we have volleyball, who had the best season on the Rough Rider record books this season so far. But once they got to district, they're performing pretty well, but they're not winning.
They're getting close.
They're getting close.
They I think I was there the Friday of the bye week. I went to the game there, and they won the first set against Hudson, and man, it was electric. And then ended up, losing the match, but getting better. And I think that's the biggest thing with what Coach Hall is doing with the volleyball program is they're consistently getting better. Last Friday went to 5 sets, and it was so close. Yeah, and lost. It was a heartbreaker. But it's kind of the same thing. Like, the girls are learning, and a lot of those girls have again never been on varsity, or some of them have played very minimal volleyball, and they're doing good. They've won more games. They've won. I think last year I went through and looked, and sometimes the max preps is off, so who knows? But I think when I went through it last year and checked it, they didn't win not one set in all of district play, and this year they're getting better. They're very young. You got sophomores and juniors, a couple of seniors, but they'll bring most of the team will come back next year, and so she's doing great things with that program.
Yeah, I'm proud of that.
I wonder. We don't have like baseball or football. There's nothing for the little ones. They start. Like, do they what?
So I've actually met with our guy with the city, Jason.
Yes.
About, because my girls love volleyball.
Yeah.
And obviously we have to figure something out with the youth football now.
Right.
But youth sports is such a huge piece of it, especially in a community like ours where a lot of our kids don't have the means to go to Longview or to Nacogdoches or do the club thing out of Lufkin. You know what I mean? So so we have to have something here to where we can help build our own programs.
Right.
And Coach Hall actually has a program she's going to start it once volleyball's over. Every Saturday she's going to open gym and have kids from ages 5 to 12 come in, and she's going to do volleyball skills and have little mini games with them and stuff like that. So at least we have something for those girls to at least become familiar with what volleyball is.
Yeah, because I expect that some of these schools, even though they're smaller, but they're closer to the city, to bigger cities or bigger towns, that I'm assuming they have something. And that's a huge advantage, right?
Because for sure. Volleyball is not a game. It's tough when if you don't start until 7th grade. Now, luckily, we have a pre-athletics program for our 6th graders,
right?
And so they start learning the game as they work through that course. And our PE at our elementary schools, they do stuff. So we try every chance we get to sneak in time to do those things with our kids. But yeah, obviously having a youth program is obviously the best, and that's something that Coach Hall and I and then and Jason have been in discussions, and we're going to try and get that going, at least where we can control it and have we can open up we'll open up the gym and have open gyms and start teaching the girls skills. And I know I think like this Sunday we had a bunch of our football guys opened up the Ryder Dome and had a bunch of younger kids out teaching them skills and drills and playing ball with them and doing all that stuff. And so it may not be the traditional way of having like an actual youth organization, but we're trying to find creative ways to get our kids and our program involved at those lower levels so that kids are excited about the sport. And it's the same thing with with any sport that we have. If you don't pick it up till later on, it takes you a while to get really good at it.
Right. And that takes me to the machine.
Oh yeah.
The machine, the center tennis, which is completed their season.
They did. So they won a district championship in the times we've been on hiatus. And they did an incredible job with it and played a tough Madisonville thing. I think Chris and I were talking about it that day at the match in Hudson.
This is unbelievable. Check this out.
And so, you have us as the 1 seed. So in the playoffs, we play the 4 seed. Well,
you're supposed to win that.
In the region, though, I think we're ranked 5th in the region, and Hudson was ranked like 3 or 4.
Yeah, Madisonville.
Sorry. Madisonville, we're at Hudson. Madisonville was ranked like 3 or 4. And so coming 4th place out of their district, they're still ranked higher than us.
That means everybody in their district is the top 4.
Yeah. They are number 4 in the region. They're number 4 in their district.
Yeah, I think their district is 1 through 4 in the region as well. It's nuts.
Talk about the district of doom.
Yeah. And so that and our kids competed very well. We came, I think it was 4-3 coming out of doubles. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So 4-3 coming out of doubles, and then for whatever reason, Madisonville just decided they were going to start playing like grown-up tennis, and went on a run in the singles game, and that's where it kind of ran away from us. But our kids competed hard. I mean, I think about kids like Emmy Wolf plays volleyball. She plays tennis. She's a cheerleader, and she played tennis that morning in the district, played doubles, played singles in Hudson, and then drove back and was there and played a volleyball game
against
that
Hudson.
night against Hudson. Yeah, so I mean, that's just, and again, our kids are awesome, but they, that was a tough one. I know Coach Dykes was, he knew that they were good, and I think last year we got past them, right? But it was really tough, tight match, and so it was just it's one of those days.
We won a little more easily because it wasn't in that district.
Right? Yeah, you're not playing. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So and we appreciate our broadcast went well. And a lot of you watched, and we had the substitute Nick Brown show sitting in in
the vehicle,
vehicle, which was nice. And we appreciate our sponsors that make that happen. I just want to mention them: Sharon Nelson Medical, the #1 tennis fan, Bob Reeves, and all of what he's involved with the Reeves Industries. He's the #1 or 2 tennis fan. Center Glass, Bounds Insurance, Cornerstone Balance and Therapy, and of course Sabine State Bank, who is bringing us this show as well. But Steve is he may be the #3 tennis fan. And then the actual by-district broadcast brought to us by Hughes Florist and Gifts. We appreciate them as well. So thanks to y'all. And then, very quietly, because that's the way cross country is, we have some tail kickers.
We got the boys were district champs, and the girls were district runner-up. So that means the whole team advances to regionals. And so we've got our entire boys team and girls team are going to the regional meet, which is in Huntsville, next Tuesday.
That's great.
Yeah, and so they're going down Monday to have a practice run a week from today. Yes, sir. So they're going down Monday to get a run, get to run through the course, like a practice run through the course, and get familiar with it. And then they'll compete and with, it's always difficult with track because or cross country. Anytime you're timing an event, you never know. But I was talking with Coach Smith, our head cross country coach, and Coach Garcia, that they're very confident. We should have, a couple of kids advance out and make it out of regionals. And I think 5 of our boys were in the top 10 when we were there, and I think 3 of our girls are in the top 10. And so they've been doing an incredible job. And that's the one sport that just I can't identify with. Running for fun obviously does not seem like something I would want to do. No. But those kids there, I'll tell you, if you drive down Moffett, between the campuses by the stadium at 6:30 in the morning, you're going to see those glow-in-the-dark vests on and coaches out there walking with them on the trails and keeping time.
Right. Literally moving more feet and yards by 7 a.m. than most
See, I'm going to say, wait, you run to get somewhere and to deliver a lick or to score a basket or to go across the home plate, or it's punishment.
That's
right. The runner's high, I get it. It's when I finish.
Yeah, it's when I'm done and come here and get pizza. But no, I remember when I was in 7th grade, a couple of us got in trouble in the locker room. I know this will shock you, but I got in trouble.
No.
And we had to, at the next junior high track meet, it was me and another lineman. We had to run the 2-mile as punishment to start the meet. And we had to finish it, or, it was I was a very good kid after that.
Yeah.
Did not mess around after that.
I know my story. In several summers in my 30s, I decided I was going to get in shape, so I ran. I didn't enjoy it. I got to where I hated it less after a few years. But all summer I would run a little bit further every week, and then on Saturday I'd go out evening when it wasn't hot, and I'd run the mile and time it.
Yeah.
And one time out of all of those summers, I broke 7 minutes, 6:59.
There you go.
And I walked a victory lap and imagined, I had just won the Olympics.
Cheers and for sure.
And then I told my students about it. Hey, aren't you proud of me? And one of the cross-country guys was, that's all you got, man? Yeah. And I said, well, how fast do you run a mile? It's like 4:12 or 13. There's no way.
No.
There is no way at gunpoint. They are so amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
When I was a sophomore in high school, somebody thought it was a good idea for me to run the 800.
Yeah.
And even as a sophomore, I was still twice as big as anybody else in that race. And I'm like, oh my God,
like
this is a sprint.
At a track meet, like that's a gutsy,
that's a man's race.
That's a gutsy race. You have to have guts, and it's not even about so much endurance. It's just you have to be mentally able to just
Just
Oh
put
my
it all
gosh,
out there.
That's a gut check race for sure.
We got guys and girls that are doing it.
Yeah,
at
and
a
they
high
do it
level.
much better than us.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
that's the good news. We'd love to have you join us here at the pizzeria for the show live. You could actually, ask questions. We would love to have you here. It happens on Tuesday night starting at 6:30. When we come back, we'll talk Rough Rider football and what it's going to take against the Bullard Panthers this coming Friday night. So don't go away. We'll hear from a few more tennis sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Hi, are you tired of the high cost of medical care? Tired of insurance that doesn't want to do anything for you? Don't have any insurance? I'm Sharon Nelson, a family nurse practitioner. I see patients of all ages for very low cash prices. For physicals, illnesses, labs, refills of medications, chronic disease management, male and female exams, suturing, joint injections, minor surgeries. Come see me, Sharon Nelson at Nelson Family Practice, 420 Tenaha Street, across from the Dairy Queen and Center. Se habla un poquito español.
Batters Law Firm is your first choice in personal injury law. Jeff Batters and his staff lead the way in the area with best of Nacogdoches and best of Lufkin votes over the last several years. If your case matters, it's got to be Batters.
Everybody, welcome back. That was Sharon Nelson with a blank picture, but I'm going to tell you, the reason why I'm here and upright and going is because of Sharon Nelson. I mean, she keeps me, identified when I had my heart issues. I mean, she's the one that got me where I need to go. But just beyond that, I mean, if you need somebody, you sit down, somebody very smart. But if you want to go to a medical professional who will sit down and listen to you,
right,
and actually like check under the hood and listen to you and check you out, and then come up with an informed opinion. I mean, a lot of places you feel like you go in, you get you wait in the waiting room, you go to the examination room, doctor comes in, just has looked at you, and boom, back out.
Yeah.
That's not what it is at Sharon. She takes her time and makes sure that you're taken care of.
A lot of places, when you talk to the doctor, you get the sense that you're kind of taking up their time.
Yeah.
Not that way at all. On Tenaha Street, across from Dairy Queen. All right, Coach, the Bullard Panthers come to town. We play them, seems like every year, either in the pre-district schedule or when we're in their district.
Right.
They are a team that I think is a little better now than they were 2 or 3 years ago. They're making some progress. Tell us about that team and your preparation.
With every team we've played this year, obviously, I go back and watch the previous 2 years' film before, and then start watching this year's stuff of them versus other people. But I always watch Center's game with that team. Excuse me, it's meat lovers. It's good. To kind of get a feel for what they do and how they, because a lot of teams, you'll watch them on film all week and they'll be in one front or be in one thing or runs this offensively, and then when they play you, it's completely different. And so I'd always like to go back and watch the film from previous years, because sometimes they'll do something different based on what you do well. So, but one thing you can tell is that they have improved. They're getting better. Every time they play center, they get better, and they always play center really tough.
They do.
And one thing to notice about them is, that coach has been there a few years now and has been doing, you can tell he's been building a good program, and the kids are well coached. They run a very solid scheme. It's not something to where you, oh man, that's really unsound, or oh my gosh, we're just going to do this. You're going to have to come and play. Which again, at this point in the season, if you have any aspirations of making playoffs and making a run in the playoffs, is you want to play good teams. And Bullard is very well coached. Their defensive front, their front 7 guys, they run like kind of an odd stack, very similar to what Jacksonville ran. Those linebackers in the middle and those 3 defensive linemen, they move and shift and stunt, and they'll move around quite a bit, and they can cause some issues if you're not gap sound in what you're doing in the run game, or definitely in your pass protection. So they've got athletes on the field. They got a very good running game. You can tell that they're kind of a power football team. They want to run the ball at you, establish your running game, and so that's immediately what jumps out on film is that.
Okay. And defensively, better this year than a lot of years. We're pretty good against the run.
Yeah. And I think I think that's our. And I think I said this coming into the season. I think our strong suit is our defensive and offensive front, and those are things that we're continuously working on. But that's when Coach Hub gets into practice and we're going over things. always shows the kids, like we do a run hole period where we're looking at their top runs, then we'll do a pass hole period where we're looking at their top passes, and but yeah, that's something that we've, for the majority of the season, we've been very good against the run.
Okay.
And so that's something that it's going to be a physical football game. It usually always is. And they're coming to our place. It's nice having back-to-back home games.
It is.
But yeah.
All right, Shires, are you good with that?
I'm good with that, but Larry Pierce just walked in. We're going to get a come on ref just for Larry.
Come on.
Come on, ref.
I looked it up. He's drawing double duty this week. He's got some serious football to cover, twice as much as you and I will. So we'll suit him up here as we close up. I want to say thanks to JBI Insurance, who across all the way into May. Joeville and his insurance staff backs the riders. We thank them for their support over the years, and Mooney's Emporium as fall starts turning into Christmas. I mean, I think Hallmark started Christmas this week. I know because it's on in my house.
Same.
Yeah, it's here. And once that starts happening, Mooney's Emporium needs to be a stop that you put on your Christmas list. Thanks to those guys. One more break and we'll wrap it up. Coach, thanks for being here with us. It's good to have you.
Yep.
NETSN and Pineywood Sports Network say thank you to the sponsors who back the riders all year long.
Ace Hardware is the place.
Center Tire, always tops and tires, now expanding their service.
And Covington Lumber, your third-generation supply store and lumber yard.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
Everybody, welcome back.
One of the things you don't know about Coach Brown, he does great impersonations. This is his Larry Pierce.
Yeah, I know.
Larry Pierce impersonation?
It's a complete transformation.
That's right. And a quick wardrobe change and everything. It's just a rip-off, and there it is.
It sounds just like him. So, Coach Brown, tell us where Pierce is going to be this week with this Pineywood stuff.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, just left a really important volleyball match there in San Augustine and Shelbyville. Shelbyville got the win. They needed that one. Both teams really needed that one to stay in the hunt, but Shelbyville got a big win there. They're playing really good. So that's what's going on. And then Thursday now, we got Thursday night football. We'll be in Shelbyville for Timpson and Shelbyville. And then Friday, we'll be in Tenaha for Mount Enterprise and Tenaha. And that one should be really, really good. Mount Enterprise has a great young man there, Keegan Ash, and he is just a phenomenal athlete, and looking forward to it. He's going to be really, really good.
And Thomas Wolf says that you can't go home, but Scott Ponder's going to come home and probably deliver a butt kicking.
That's right. That's coming back to his home.
Coach Ponder's from Tenaha?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm getting to learn where these coaches is. Oh, he played in the pit even. Oh, that's awesome.
All-state
tight end. So he wants to go back there. Okay, I see.
Oh, yeah.
But, looking forward to that. Coach Ponder, I got to see him whenever they played Shelbyville, and they played a great game there. They got to win over Shelbyville a few weeks back. And just whenever you get the opportunity to see a young man that is that good, you just want to take every opportunity you can.
Yeah,
I mean, the great chance I got to see Terry Bussey and know where he's at. And I know Keegan, he's going to be – right now he's scheduled to play outside linebacker for Texas Tech. So, good young man and a solid young man,
Got
too.
that NIL, baby.
Well, we enjoyed watching him in the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
we
sure
watched
did.
Mount Enterprise. It was a heck of a game.
Yep.
And he played a good one. So double the football this week.
Double the football this week, and then the district over here, the toughest district of 2A is really rocking it. Next week we'll have another one. It'll be San Augustine and Shelbyville in San Augustine. So we're taking our mobile coaches shows next week. We're going to be at a great place there in San Augustine called Tasha's Country Kitchen, and we do it on Wednesday afternoon for Coach. So that's where we're going to be, and we already got that hooked up. And I tell you, I'm looking forward to the food. I got after that. I got to go home, take a nap. Coach had to go to work, but I wouldn't take a nap because that fed me good over there.
That's right. Is it a buffet?
They do a buffet, and you can order off the menu as well. But yeah, it's just, excellent stuff.
You take Hemphill down at the bottom and kind of out of this equation,
right?
And maybe Garrison. The rest of them, it comes
I'm
down
not
to.
even sure that I would say Garrison's definite right now.
It comes down to whoever's going to be home. It gets the advantage. I mean,
right?
It comes down to home. They're that close across that whole district.
Yeah, they are that close. And to tell you what, there's going to be a good one. I think it's in Garrison this week. St. Augustine's playing Garrison as well. It was a close game between Shelbyville and Garrison there. And, Garrison, they're always good. Yeah, but I can't say for sure Garrison's going to win at the top. It could come down to that last game when St. Augustine and Timpson are playing down there. Yeah. You never know. This is a great district to be a part of.
I don't think anybody's going to win them all.
I don't think so.
So that's where he's going to be for the next little while. Shires and I will be right there at the ranch.
I would ask Coach Brown, we're going to call it the ranch.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Is it
the ranch or the Ponderosa?
Okay.
I don't know. We're going to find out.
It's the ranch. He just said yes.
The ranch. There you go. I like the ranch.
That's where we're going to be.
I figured it'd be at the pasture. You got the Coliseum. You got the pasture.
Well, that could work.
I know.
I call Rams place the pasture because the Rams got in the pasture.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Maybe that'll catch on.
Yeah, who knows?
Our pregame show will start at 7 o'clock, and we'll visit with Coach. We just visited with, we got a recording with Mr. Bluford, our running back, so we'll get to talk to him. At halftime, we'll see the Rough Rider Band, and we also talk to the Borders Poultry Supply up close and personal, the band director, Chris Smith, because Friday night, the band performs, and less than 24 hours later, they'll be performing at contest.
Right. That's what I was going to ask if they were in a contest too. I knew I meant to say that about the Shelbyville band. They're headed off to contest this week as well.
Yeah.
They did really well to help in that Lone Star Cup. So Shelbyville band and a lot of bands are going out there.
And that's another. Most of the bands in that group are in the top 5 or 6 in the state.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're in the discussion for best band in the 2A, so it's just incredible the quality of what you get to cover.
Exactly.
All right, well, for Coach Brown, good to have Larry Pierce with us, and for Stephen Shires, we'll see you Thursday night and Friday night on the gridiron, and back here on Tuesday. Until then, keep it between the sidelines.
There you go.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name, and they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank. So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the Pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the Pizzeria just off the square in Center.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Pineywood Sports Network, an affiliate of NETSN. God bless America, God bless our troops, and God bless each and every one of you.